You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Welcome to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Williams, here to talk about the cosmic forecast and what to expect for the first week of December. There is a lot to go over for the week, so grab your notes and your pen or pencil, grab a snack, or strap in for a long ride home, and let's get into it. Sunday, December 1st, we had a new moon in Sagittarius. The sun and moon were together at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and the dark moon is all about planting new seeds of intention, indicating a time to see with the mind's eye versus our human eyes, thinking about what dreams may come true. Sagittarius is an energy that wants to travel, experience, and explore in the mind and spirit just as much as the physical realm. So we can feel an increased urge for expansion and wanting to make our goals a reality, to learn or create something that we can share with the world, especially because this lunation was conjunct Mercury retrograde. Our future selves could definitely be on the brain this week. The new moon in Sagittarius wants to manifest something and make it happen right away, but it's in this triangle of energy with Saturn in Pisces and a slow moving Mars in Leo. And Saturn, our spiritual mastery teacher, is telling us, don't get me wrong, whatever you have planned for yourself, whatever you have your eye on is a yes. Things are going forward for us, but not with so and so around. Things are on the horizon for us, but not in this particular career. You don't even like that major or this city or this particular job, and you can't go further until something is addressed. And because Mercury is in retrograde, we know that there is a pivot happening and a point of review that pertains to our dreams, our goals, or our business pursuits. So, this is not a time to take action or start something new, but rather a time to think and sit with our ideas and implement them into something that's already in motion. Mars, our energy and motivation, will station retrograde this weekend, so our attempts to take action will be intercepted. On December 2nd, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius made a trine to Chiron retrograde in Aries at 19 degrees of their signs, putting our healing journey on the brain. When Mercury retrograde slows down, our mind slows down, giving us the gift of space to think about the bigger picture of our healing journey, where we've come from, and obtaining new perspectives on where the process is taking us and how to turn our pain into purpose. Also on December 2nd, Venus in Capricorn is in a lovely conversation with Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 24 degrees. We could be ready for some sort of switch up in our values, finances, beauty, relationships, or how we want to make money. Capricorn could have us taking serious inventory of these topics with sudden realizations of wanting something completely different in our careers or our relationships or even our aesthetics, which could include home decor, fashions, or our hair. Something in this area is wanting to change so that it better aligns with our personal values and the things that we really like. On December 4th, quite a few cosmic conversations happening. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius makes another exact opposition to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini at 16 degrees of their signs. So these two are still in each other's signs. It's still wobbly in the communication area, both retrograde. So talking and thinking is really invited to slow down this month, even if we personally don't want it to. Conversations can just feel too big, too heavy, or draining for a lot of people. And we could have individuals ranting and venting, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of big stories in the media without the facts. We could have a lot to ponder, but the thing is, we don't have all of the information yet. And so, if we are feeling a stream of dialogues wanting to come out of our own minds, we want to catch that energy and sit with it and let the sentences run through our minds first and ask, what am I trying to make sense of? There is an opportunity for insight and to determine whether our ego or our higher self is speaking. And just remember that intuition is always calm, and our anxious brain is the one that will always be in a hurry. Altogether, it's probably best to avoid overstimulating conversations right now. Speak less, do less, because the energy doesn't really complement any overexertion this month. Also on the 4th, the sun in Sagittarius is making a square to Saturn in Pisces, giving us some sort of reality check, asking us to be mindful of making assumptions without checking for the facts, inviting us to ask ourselves, are we criticizing, judging, or projecting towards others? Sagittarius is a very optimistic and enthusiastic sign, but in its lower expression can get on its high horse and start preaching down at people with the eye of judgment. So Saturn in Pisces is asking us to check ourselves, check our assumptions and expectations of others. Let people be where they are on their path and not where we think they should be. Another indication to take a step back and think about what is trying to be communicated. So it feels like the cosmos are saying, hey, let's just stop talking. Let's reflect, review, relax, and write it down. Also, today, Venus in Capricorn is making a sextile with Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 27 degrees of their signs, showing us how we could really help others and make money in ways that we would love to do, in all the ways that we were born to do. We could be filled with beautiful daydreams of all the possibilities today, which is so good. We want to indulge and surrender to that energy and take in some beautiful scenery and let ourselves dream and wander in the romantic and creative depths of our imagination. Venus is in Capricorn, so she's practical, she has discernment. Neptune is a fantasy land, but Venus is not going to let us get too carried away. But let's not forget, just because something exists in the spiritual realm doesn't mean it isn't true. So we want to journal all the things that we can see with the mind's eye because Neptune is dropping some major intuitive breadcrumbs on what's to come. On December 5th, the Sun in Sagittarius conjuncts Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius at 14 degrees. This is also known as a Mercury cazimi, meaning that Mercury is in the heart of the Sun, and when Mercury sits in the heart of the sun, he becomes invisible. He goes through a death and rebirth and is going to emerge as the morning star, which means that you can see a Mercury in the morning sky opposed to the evening sky, which is where we could see him now up until the 5th. And so this is tapping us into our own mental wisdom. During this time of pause, we will receive clearer understandings of where we need to shift or make changes to something. Remember, not a time to start anything new, but to focus on what's already in motion and how to stabilize that. There can be people popping up from the past, big talks of big deals on the table, people coming with big promises, and a feeling of wanting to do all the things, but be very cautious with your time and your finances, or depending on something or someone to come through for us because it may very well fall through. So we want to pay attention to all the details and logistics and avoid overinflating ourselves and what we can do for someone. This transit can bring big possibilities, wealth, and notoriety, but also hidden trouble that can blow up in our faces if we overpromise and underdeliver something. One of the most significant transits this week is happening Friday, December 6th. Mars retrogrades into the sign of Leo. This is happening at 6 degrees and 10 minutes of Leo at about 5:32 p.m. Central Time. And Mars is going to retrograde back into the degrees of Cancer until about February 3rd, 2025, with a shadow period that's going to land us somewhere into April. We want to grab our birth charts, pull them up, and look at the house where 6 degrees of Leo is, and even the later degrees of Cancer, because this is where we are already feeling some sort of change in life's directions and desires. And for many of us, there will be some sort of halt or detour in energy, taking action and asserting ourselves. We could lose steam and the ability to fight for something. And that is by design when Mercury is in retrograde because we need the energy to slow down so that we can retract back into our own energy and our own creative processes and to check in with our heart space. Checking in to assess what it is that we are focusing on, what are we creating. For some of us, this will be frustrating because with these fire signs being activated, we could be motivated to really do something and go. A lot of us may want to do something new and enter into a new creative system or process. But for some of us, this is right on time because the slowdown is necessary as we will be realigning parts of ourselves and stepping into new ways of creating and new ways of existing. So Leo is a sign that likes to shine from the outside. It has a stage that it wants to be on. Leo wants to know it's doing a good job, so it appreciates its roses and its applause from others. and it wants to hear that it's making an impact with its creativity. But in retrograde, this is a time to tap into our own validation. The quality of our work needs self praise and self appreciation for authenticity, because the lower expressions of Leo can wear a mask so that it can please others. And so we won't be seeing so many praises from others, and we are invited to not seek kudos from anything or anyone externally during Mars's time in Leo when it is retrograde. So from now until about April 2025, things may be slowing down in multiple areas of our lives, because there's something that needs to be reviewed, addressed, and reassessed before we can move forward. And this is evident in many areas because we have many personal planets as well as outer planets that are in retrograde. Also on December 6th, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is squaring Saturn in Pisces. Communications are slower, as we indicated earlier, and there can be room for a lot of misinterpretations that lead to conflicts. So, this is another nudge to retreat into solitude this week and even this month. This is a very slow month. um, we want to detach and reflect. Definitely not a good day for serious conversations, negotiations, or business dealings. So we just want to keep that in mind and kind of get to stay to ourselves and journal and just really reflect on what the day is bringing us and the thoughts that we are encountering. Saturday, December 7th, Neptune finally stations direct at 27 degrees of Pisces. It's been retrograde for some time now. A lot of things that we were questioning on our spiritual path could make sense at this time. The spiritual energy can feel really strong, so this is a good indication and a good time to journal those downloads and dreams, because they are riddled with intuitive messages. And our final transit for the week, Venus is going into the sign of Aquarius and will make an immediate conjunction to Pluto, who is in Aquarius right now, bringing us another transformative shift to relationships. The last time Venus was conjunct Pluto was February 2024, where we had some type of look or shift in relationships. And here we are again having another look. This time they're in Aquarius. And so we could be observing patterns and themes in how we relate to others. Who are we bonding with and how are we bonding with them? Who is our tribe? What are the dynamics in our friendships, groups, and networks? And do I gel with that? Or do I need to find new circles? Pluto will destroy anything that is not aligned to our truest expression and will be replacing it with whatever supports authenticity and freedom. So that was a lot of information this week. I just want to go ahead and give a quick recap. This month is beginning and ending with a new moon. So it is indicating a time to go inward, to see with the mind's eye. The dreams of our future will be heavily on our minds and our psyche. So we want to let ourselves dream, journal, plan, reflect on all the possibilities, but avoid starting anything new. Focus on what's already in motion and honor the energy that has slowed down for us and allow ourselves to slow down with it. Don't force anything at this time. Observe our thoughts and communication tendencies to avoid misunderstandings. Find your tribe and react like your higher self to become your higher self. And so I hope everyone found this message well. Please like, comment, share with a friend. I hope you all have a mindful week. Dream big, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.